Okay guys, here I am in my humble little home garage instead of at my nice workshop. But here is my new pride and joy. I traded in my 2022 MV Agusta 1000 RR Nürburgring, which, as you may remember, had the full race kit on it, and I loved it. But this is my new to me 2021 SP. Yes, I got all the bodywork off, so you cannot see it in its true glory. But here's what this video is about. I've done the first service. Yep, it was 2021 with 0 miles on it. Well, 12 miles PDI. And I've done the 612 miles. I negotiated with the dealer to have the full Akra wheelbarrow setup put on it. Funny thing is that Akrapovic or Akrofovic, whatever you want to call it, obviously linked to Ducati, do not list a map dedicated to an SP with a full wheelbarrow. SP2 they do, but not an SP. Dealer wasn't sure whether it's going to work or not, so we opted to go with T800 dongle / UpMap software, because UpMap, which is made in Italy, has maps for just about every configuration you can think of. It's been a long drawn out scenario, but it's on and software's in and it runs absolutely awesome. Sounds fantastic. Obviously with the bodywork off I cannot give you a demonstration. Anyway, video never justify what it really sounds like. It always sound muted and muffled. But anyway, what this video is about is, since getting the bike and ridden it just 1 week with the software in here, I decided that, well, I found out that, and many of you probably all know this, that when you put the Akropovic on, this bike is a Euro 5, so it has 4 Lamda sensors, 1 in each downpipe. When the UpMap was put on, the recommendation was to remove the Lambdas. Now in here I can't, well, if I put my finger in, there's one there, well, was one there. Then down at the front here you had 1 Lambda on that tube, and the other Lambda is where my finger is wiggling there. Anyway, I've removed them. I made the classic mistake of ordering plugs. First ones were typical M18. They were Akrapovic or Akrapovic, whatever you want to call it, or Kropovic. And so then I knew they were M12 by 1.25, but looking around it ended at 1.25 and ended up getting by accident 1.5 pitch. So tomorrow the right ones should arrive, fingers crossed. And incidentally, I said to the local dealer, who, you know, seems like a good guy, I said, I know what you're doing, I know you know what you're doing, but please, when you put this Akrapovic exhaust on, I want copper slip on every single nut on the slip joints. I really want to put on. Well, needless to say, having taken this bodywork off, they didn't live up to my expectations. So what I found was a number of plugs not in their slots in this area, and several, the Lambdas weren't tight. They weren't loose, but they weren't tight. They would have vibrated loose eventually, and some routing of wires were poorly done. There was one over here that was trapped by the tank. So I have to say I'm really disappointed, because I thought with the value of this bike they would have put the extra effort in, or he would have put the extra effort in but obviously didn't follow through. So what I've done here at the moment is I've got the AIS delete. So it comes with a little plug. You have to be very careful how you install that plug, because it's easy to push a grommet into the airbox, and you can only imagine how much work it would take if you got if that blanking plug went through, or the grommet went through into the airbox, because the whole harness is bolted to the top of this airbox. Anyway, that's in. AIS blanking plugs are in, and I was able to get the front one in. It was a real pain. I must have spent over an hour, but I ended up getting it in without removing the radiator. I had that top mount, mid mount. I released this where the servo box was. There's a pin there. Got the screws out there, same on the other side. Pushed it back. Now you can see I've tweaked a couple of things there, but I mean that's inevitable. But that plate is buried all the way back in there, and I was able to manipulate it and get the old cover plate off. AIS is in. So here's the fending items with this very long hose, and I was able to pull that out. Now it wasn't easy, but that goes all the way. This hose is in under the frame and goes around the airbox, and I was able to pull it out. As I say, it took a good 10-15 minutes of manipulation, but I got the whole thing out, so the whole air injection system is gone. So my Lambdas will be gone, and oh, Evap's gone. That's why I was over here. So this little module here is the delete for the purge valve, so it won't throw a code. Lambdas won't throw a code because the software has already told the ECU they're not working or they're disabled. ECU just sees them as them running, so it's on a closed loop circuit, not open loop, not getting feedback from the O2 sensors. No air's going in the exhaust, there's nothing affecting there from the AIS. And I've completely taken the whole box off in this area, and all I've done is put I couldn't get a nice Y, but I got a T in here, and so I've got the combination of the fuel vents up here, these two that go into the tank, teeing in to this, which goes into a fitting in the side of the fairing. This one will actually be joined back on there. This is the airbox vent which goes on the belly pan. Side trimmings. So that's it for now. I'll be back tomorrow or later on. Oh yeah, one thing before we go. Of course, I don't have the hideously ugly cover. It's been removed. When they had the subframe off, I told the dealer, please remove that. I mean, doesn't it look so much better? Yeah, it looks so much better, and I honestly cannot feel any difference from the heat. It just sounds better. It's, you know, I'm sure it's more for muffling than anything else. But question is that what this does do is it leaves more surface area of heat to absorb into the petrol tank. Oh, I've got my long awaited Pramac CNC carbon quick release fuel cap. What I'm going to do, you've probably seen other people do this, but this whole area is going to be covered with gold foil insulating tape, so that will go on as well, just to help minimize heating up the fuel. It probably only do a small amount, but everything's a benefit. So that's it for now. I'll be back with when the Lambda blanking plugs are in and the bodywork's back on, and a quick little road test. That's it for now. Well, here it is, all back together. Gonna check I don't have any check engine lights codes on it. Fingers crossed, you never know. temperature, just in case it wants to, you know, see if anything happens with the gear changing. Temperature into it now. So good. I just think that's all right.